She's had this problem for over a year, by user Jack's Magic Man. We got a ticket that said the employee wasn't receiving emails sent to a certain group. Some quick troubleshooting. We found the problem quickly. It was a rule she had set up. Showed her the folder the emails were going to so she could find any she missed. Turned off the rule and showed her how to turn it back on if she ever wanted to sort them again. Noted the ticket and moved on. Being the curious type, I looked through our system and I found a ticket from 2 years ago where she actually asked us for the rule. I knew she couldn't have done it herself, so I knew we had a ticket. In the ticket she was complaining about being spammed by those emails. The person who worked with her, left detailed instructions on where the email was going. How to find the rule. How to turn it off. And made it clear before closing the ticket that should she want the emails not sorted, she needed to turn it off, and while the rule was on she would not see the emails in her regular inbox. I just kind of put that little bit of information away. I didn't make a deal out of her asking for the rule to be set up. About 3 days later, I am in a meeting and her boss had a list of items he wants to talk about. One of them was her email issue. That was fixed, I told him. She said it took a while, he answered. I pulled up the ticket and showed him that from time the ticket was opened until it was closed with a satisfactory conclusion was only 15 minutes. She told me that she's had this problem for over a year, he said. I don't know what to tell you, I said. She only opened this ticket on this date and it was fixed 15 minutes later. Shouldn't you know if she is having issues? What do you mean? She hasn't been receiving these emails for a while, shouldn't you know that? I'm still not following. We knew when she told us. We don't have the ability to know when the employees here are expecting emails unless they tell us. It seems like that is something IT should know. Email is very important. If it isn't working, alarms should be sounding. Email was working correctly. I pointed out again that all we did was turn off a rule that she asked to be made in the first place. Maybe she just didn't understand what you guys were doing with the rule. I again pointed out that, on the original ticket, the tech took her time to spell out the entire solution and even explained what was happening with the email. After the meeting, I got kind of curious why he was so persistent that we messed up. It turns out that she got promoted a year ago. Part of her job was supposed to be taking care of those emails, before it was a group thing where it was kind of passed out, but her promotion made her in charge of the entire program. And she kept telling all the other people she was working with that she wasn't getting them. Other people were taking care of them for her. I guess he was embarrassed that she was skimping on that part of her job and was blaming IT. No, she didn't get punished at all. Every time I try to log in, I have to reset my password, by user Omegatron9. I work for a company that builds and supports web apps for various clients. Recently, we had a support ticket come in from one of these clients saying that some of the users they'd added to the app recently were having trouble logging in. Every time they tried to log in they would receive an invalid password error. They would reset their password and this would let them access the app again, but the next time they tried to log in they got the same error and had to reset their password again. Could I please fix this? Of course my first instinct was that this was user error, but I had to check to be sure. So I tried resetting my password in the test environment. No problems. I tried resetting my password on a test account in the production environment. No problems. I even got permission from one of the users involved to try resetting their password myself and then logging into their account, in case it was somehow an account-specific issue. Again, no problems. So I respond to the client and tell them that there are no issues with the password reset process. I advise the client to make sure that the users are performing the password reset properly. In particular, I tell them to make sure that the users are entering the same password on the login page as they entered on the password reset page. The client comes back and says the users are still having the same problem. Can I please fix this? Okay, fine. I organize a call between myself, the client, and some of the affected users so they can screen share and show me how they're trying to reset their password. We get on the call and one of the users shows me what they're doing. They try to log into the app in Chrome and get an invalid password error. They click the Forgot Password button and a password reset email arrives in Outlook. They click the Reset My Password link in the email and it opens the Reset Password page in Edge. They update their password and the app logs them in. Edge dutifully offers to save their password, which they accept. They then close Edge and go back to Chrome. They open the login page of the app and Chrome dutifully autofills their old password. They click Login and get invalid password. I explained to them that Edge and Chrome are different browsers and that a password saved by one won't be remembered by the other. I teach them how to copy the reset password link into Chrome instead, right-click the link. No, not left-click, right-click. Now click copy link. No, not open link in new window, copy link. The client and users are very grateful to me for solving their problem, and the client assures me that, if the same issue ever happens again, they'll be able to recognize it now. I don't even blame the users for this one, I blame Microsoft for pushing Edge so hard. Too important to comply, by user Kalmash. Due to a severe data breach, I was contracted into remage 750 to 800 field laptops in an org. Serious endeavor. Basically sending out a range of newly imaged laptops and relying on returns from across the US to keep up the cycle. Got the flow down and was at the very last of asset checkoff. My last in the wild laptop? Hawaii? The Arctic Circle? Oh, no, no, no. It was the senior attorney for the corporation who was literally a floor above me, and held out using a brand spanking new Precision 5500, but insisted on using the possibly compromised laptop, on our rebuilt network. He was blacklisted to guest SSID, and bitched about getting kicked off the network constantly. He was also using a cellular hotspot to VPN in when he was in the building. As I was a contractor and no one had the cojones to confront this idiot, they kept kicking the can to me to persuade the guy. I had already backed up and stored his old machine and asked nicely several times to validate his data on the new machine. I got curious cause this guy was becoming a royal PIA and my finalization for remediation was being held up by one asset. Turns out he was running his son's baseball league with a totally unapproved league app on his corporate laptop. This place was the Wild West with admin accounts before the breach, who knew? I copied the DB for the league, grabbed one of our decommissioned legacy burner laptops and set up all his personal crap on it. Yes, I violated his asset. Guy literally was in every C-level meeting about data security and high-level meeting about remediation and cost of response. It came down to a nudge wink wink to get him to comply. I never ratted him out for that software. Honestly, I made a shit ton of money waiting for him to comply. But if /when that corp has another breach, he's the first fucker I'd talk to. Edited for para/spelling. New laptop envy, by userfrontro13. We've just had a delivery of brand new laptops, our first since before COVID. We've been trying to keep it secret as they're for a group that has had same equipment for 8 years. Someone in office had a failure and needed a replacement and only the new ones met their needs. The week they got it we've had constant calls of poor performance and issues from same office department. I've checked every one of them and nothing is wrong, someone even broke the USB-C on one of them, I replaced it with exact same model they had before and like a child took a tantrum. Where's the new one? He got it, I want one too. Me, you don't need that, you only use web tools and PDF files. I got a formal complaint against me. Why are people such children? Asses the ergonomics of my setup and resolve, by usermata_1381. I once had a ticket come through from an end user that wasn't very touchy. The ticket read: Hey IT! Please come down to asses and resolve the ergonomics of my setup. I went down really confused and essentially said, I can't tell you how your body feels, you tell me how you feel and we can order equipment, monitor stands etc. They gave me a super confused look and told me that since I am IT, I must do it for them. After some back and forth trying to explain I can't tell them how their body feels, they finally accepted it, gave me a list of equipment, we ordered and all was well. As a side note, he left the company not too much later. I swiftly took his new ergonomic chair, best seat I've ever had.